After a lot of long-haul flying, I'm exploring business class on short-haul routes, what it offers and if it actually makes sense. Last video, I tried Italian ITA Airways on A320 and was not convinced at all. Now I want to give a try to another European legacy carrier, KLM. KLM is the legendary European airline. Established in 1919, it's the oldest operating airline in the world, flying for more than 100 years. It's still a major airline, but somehow it lost some of the status it had back in the days. Still, it's a large airline servicing 156 destinations with a fleet of more than 110 planes and carried respectable 33 million passengers in 2024. It's 7th largest in Europe by passenger traffic and 4th among legacy carriers, after Lufthansa, British Airways and Air France. Definitely a legend before, but how does their business class product looks now, particularly on a short haul? Let's check together. Today's flight is Milan to Amsterdam, 830 kilometers, 1 hour 45 minutes on board of Boeing 737-800. It's a typical European short haul. KLM is flying from Linate, which is already a big advantage by itself. In my opinion, it's by far the best of Milan's 3 airports. It's connected to city center by metro, and in 20 minutes and €2 you're there. But I'm all for a business class experience today, so to be consistent from start to finish, I'm taking a quick ride by taxi. Linate is a heaven for aviation fans. The terminal building is close to the runway, and you can enjoy takeoff views just standing in front of it. Like this beautiful looking dark blue ITA Airways Airbus, sometimes one can actually confuse them with blue and white KLM livery. Finding the right entrance is easy. As one can expect, KLM is right next to Air France, their partner in Air France KLM Group and SkyTeam Alliance. What's a bit more surprising is that EasyJet and Wizz Air are right next to them. Usually that would be in the other corner of the airport. I suspect that business class cabin on KLM single-aisle aircraft is not going to blow my mind, so I'm curious to see what kind of end-to-end experience KLM can create that would make business class worth its price tag. Check-in counters are less than 50 meters away from the entrance, and I'm pleasantly surprised to see a very nice Air France KLM check-in zone with nice counters and very little crowd. I'm even more surprised to realize that this is actually economy check-in area. Really impressive. Let's go now to the other side to see Sky Priority Zone, the area for business class and premium tier members of loyalty program. It doesn't look too much different, rather than just 2 dedicated counters, but the whole zone looks so nice that actually you don't need anything more than a counter with no queue. So far, so good for KLM. The whole experience is very positive and the agents are friendly and smiling. I forgot to check the seats online and system gave me an aisle, so the agent actually asked herself if I would rather prefer to have window seat. For sure I would. It literally takes less than 2 minutes to do everything and puts you in a very good mood for the upcoming flight. Passing through security takes no more than 5 minutes. Just look at this area after security check where you can sort out and repack your stuff. Isn't it great? I'm moving quickly through the airport to look for the lounge. Linate keeps reminding that you're in Italy. Instead of Gap and Uniqlo's that you could see in other smaller regional airports, Linate greets you with Armani's, Dolce Gabbanas and the likes. There is a lot of glass everywhere and the planes are parked very close to the terminal building, so you can do a lot of plane spotting without actually going anywhere. What's that? Aero Italia. It looks and sounds like some Chinese company decided to copy Alitalia. Would be interesting to check them out one day. I thought that KLM might be using ITA Airways Lounge as they used to be in the same alliance until recently, but no, they are in Leonardo Lounge. It looks like ITA doesn't want to share its lounge with anyone as literally every single airline plus lounge access programs are packed into Leonardo. The lounge is very small, but probably you don't need more for this airport, as there is not that much business traffic on short-haul routes, as well as a lot of flights from Linate are by discounters. Though small, KLM Linate's lounge is definitely a nice one. Modern, clean and very quiet. It's almost some kind of boutique experience. There are big panoramic windows which I plan to explore later, and since the lounge is small, then everything is around and you don't need to walk 5 minutes to get a glass of water. It's 9 in the morning and the food station reminds a typical Italian pasticceria. Lots of sweet bakery in different shapes and forms. Let's respect Italian traditions and go for orange juice, croissant and coffee. Since it's a morning, it would be a legitimate time for cappuccino. Drinking it anywhere after 10 a.m. would be comparable to a crime by Italian standards. The coffee machine is actually the only thing that may actually need some upgrade in otherwise very fine lounge. Milk is not properly foamed and coffee beans are too bitter. I'm getting my Italian breakfast and positioning myself comfortably in a chair close to the window. Meanwhile, I keep checking the clock. Not so much not to miss my flight, but to make sure that it's not past 10 a.m. and my cappuccino doesn't start getting judgmental looks. I wonder actually if at 10 it will turn itself into espresso, as Cinderella carriage turned into pumpkin at midnight. The outside view is great, and there is a lot of movements in this time of the day at the airport. I also get a better look at that Aero Italia, which definitely looks for me like a rip-off Alitalia. Then I managed to spot my own KLM plane, which just landed and is taxiing towards the terminal. It's an older 737-800 with 25 years of age, but it still looks great in that blue and white livery. Somehow I like much more bright liveries than the kinds of white body plus logo. Spotting that plane also ensures me that I got at least 30-40 minutes before the boarding. It's Sunday, so no emails for today, rather a good quality time sipping coffee, checking the news and watching the planes. It's a relaxed way to spend the next 40 minutes and a very nice experience. Still have a flight to take, so need to head to the gate. The boarding looks flawlessly perfect. It's all organized by zone, everyone knows what to do, there is no crowd and queues, and there is a dedicated lane for business class. Everything looks pretty much like from some ground operation textbook. One may say it's a little thing, but it all builds up to a positive experience. The boarding is through the gate and I'm about to step aboard. I know in general what to expect, so my expectations are already adjusted. For short-haul business, KLM is using 3-3 configuration. This is the infamous EuroBusiness class setup practiced by many European airlines for short-haul flights within Europe. Basically, it's all about using the same economy seat in business class cabin with a little bit more legroom and an empty middle seat for extra space and comfort. Then you just move the curtain up and down the cabin and you got yourself more or less rows of business class. KLM setup is exactly as expected, regular economy seat with no headrest. The only thing that could somehow be considered premium is that nicer looking headrest cover, granted that there is no headrest itself. In contrast to KLM and other European carriers, many US and Asian airlines use for their short-haul flights dedicated business seats with much more comfort, like this United seat on 737s, and United is probably one of the worst legacy airlines that I flew. The good news is that KLM is using on its aging 737s rather modern and lightweight Recaro seats, which were retrofitted in 2021. KLM was actually a launch customer for those seats. The upholstery may look a little bit worn out, but the seats itself rather comfortable as for what they are, which is standard issue economy seats. I am settling in my seat, indeed it's not bad. Next thing is to check the legroom, and here things looks generally good. KLM has 33-inch seat pitch in business versus 30 in economy, and those 3 inches or 8 centimeters make quite a lot of difference. I start looking for the power supply. I find the socket for the standard plug below the seat, but I fail to find the advertised USB port. There is no in-flight entertainment on this aircraft, but I noticed that there is an in-flight magazine. On many airlines those were gone with the COVID and never went back, so I'm kind of happy to see one now, especially that it's brand new one, don't like those worn out pages. While I'm busy with the magazine, the boarding is over and the air bridge pulls back. I guess that's the time from which the flight time starts counting. The crew serves the pre-flight drink. pineapple twist, which is a mix of pineapple, melon, and mango. It's freshly squeezed juice and a nice surprise from KLM. I'm asking the flight attendant to hang my jacket, but apparently they don't have this compartment or something is already there, so need to use the hanger on the seat, which is a little nuisance. We have a pushback and start the journey. Milan is probably the only airport where you have Armani advertising on a hanger, and I would not be surprised if airport staff uniform was designed by Armani too. Given that the airport is less than 10 kilometers from the city center, it's so surprising that surroundings during taxiing look like you're somewhere far away in countryside. Despite the airport being busy, there are no delays and we depart exactly on time. Immediately once we take off, you can see Milan's two downtown areas, Porta Nuova and City Life on the horizon. Being second biggest city in Italy, Milan proper is surprisingly small, but there are endless suburbs around where no one can really tell where one stops and another starts. The menus are served the moment the seatbelt signs are switched off. It's nice and a bit unexpected given the low standards in general for EuroBusiness. We get granola and yogurt for starter and then pancakes with salmon for the main, plus a good choice of soft drinks, wines and liquors. They call pancakes in Russian manner blini, which is a bit strange given all that is going with Russia now. Wonder if KLM forgot about all the Dutch passengers on board of MH17 flight shut down by Russia in 2014. The lunch box comes some 10 minutes later in a very stylish box with Dutch traditional Delft blue design. On long haul, KLM hands out miniature Delft blue houses as a collectible gift. I got few of those back at home. Wonder if can extend the collection, but doesn't seem to be the case for short haul. So let's explore the meal. You can really see Dutch perfection and minimalism in this box. Everything is efficient and well organized, a bit similar to German, but probably in a bit more stylish way. Alright, so let's check if everything is here. This is clearly the pancakes with salmon, looks good even behind the lid. Here we got the generous portion of fruit salad, and here are two different boxes for the granola and that coca yogurt. I am tempted to test KLM wines too, but it's still just 11 in the morning, so I decide to go for Coke instead. Interestingly, KLM is using that cute wooden cutlery, which looks almost like a toy. I'm happy that they don't use plastics, but wonder at the same time if using metal would be more sustainable at the end than using wooden forks and spoons, which will be thrown away after the meal. Ready for my food, but before first bite, I'm trying to decide if I should call this breakfast or lunch. That's a tough question, and not being able to find a solution, I give up on my dilemma and proceed with my unidentified meal. As I expected, not only it looks good, but actually it tastes very well, both sweet and savory dishes. My only little complaint being that granola was too hard and yogurt too thick, so it took some time for cereals to soften. I'm finishing my meal when I notice something interesting. It's some kind of tiny envelope. I'm intrigued, is it a message from a captain or a love note from a beautiful flight attendant? Should I open it? Well, it turns out to be neither, but rather two very small packets of salt and pepper. What a beautiful little thingy to have with your meal. There are usual teas and coffees after the meal that come together with two small chocolate and almond biscuits. One advantage of flying business class on shorter flights is that once you're finished with all the food and drinks, then you're almost there. I'm not sure where exactly we are now, but when I look at those flat landscapes, I'm almost sure we are over Netherlands already. We are starting our descent, and it's great that flight path goes all the way along the coast with a beautiful view of long straight beaches. Well, it's time to make up my mind about today's KLM business class. I'm divided. If this would be a boxing match, they would call it by split decision of judges. The main downside, like for most of intra-Europe business class, is that the seat is very basic, and there is no way how to overlook that, especially since tickets are not that cheap. At 500 euros plus, the cheapest business fare would be more than 3 times the price of economy. But at the same time, there is definitely an effort by KLM to make this a better travel experience. Everything is smooth and nice, and the whole trip does feel like a small travel adventure rather than survival. The The check-in is nice and fast, the lounge was good, you're treated well at boarding, and while seats are the same as an economy, there is enough legroom and space in general. Good quality and selection of food and drinks, and there is in general a lot of attention to details. I liked my KLM flight today a lot, but I'm not sure I would recommend that business class over economy for regular everyday travel. However, if you have a long trip with multiple legs, or if you have some special occasion, or even better, if you got some miles to redeem, this would be a nice experience. You definitely get more and better service and experience, while one may still ask a question if the price tag difference is too much for a 1.5 hour flight. After all, I'm giving KLM 4 out of 5. This might not be the greatest value, but I did like my flight, and I hope they may reconsider seats in the new planes. I still would like to have one more short-haul business class flight with Air France to make my verdict on EuroBusiness. And my today's experience with KLM makes me very much tempted to try also their long-haul business class product. Stay tuned as more is coming, and it would be great to hear your opinion on short-haul European business class in comments to this video.